Have you ever looked into your dog's eyes and wondered if they're truly happy? We feed them, walk them, brush their fur, and call them good boy every day. But here's the hard truth. Love alone isn't always enough. Studies show nearly 70% of dogs live with quiet stress, even in the most caring homes. That means behind every wagging tail could be silent worry. In this video, we'll uncover 12 everyday mistakes loving owners make small actions that quietly hurt their dog's trust. Stay with me till the end, because one of them is something almost every owner does without realizing it. Let's begin with the first mistake, breaking the rules we set, even when we mean well. You know that moment when your dog jumps on the couch and those big eyes look up at you, full of pride, tail wagging like it's the best day ever. You smile, maybe even laugh and think, oh, just this once won't hurt. But to your dog, there's no such thing as just once. There's only what's allowed and what isn't. Imagine living in a world where the laws of gravity change every day. One day the floor holds you up, the next it doesn't. That's how inconsistency feels to a dog. When one moment they're praised for sitting on the couch, and the next they're scolded for it, they don't see the difference. They only see confusion. And confusion for a creature that depends on you for every cue feels like the ground shifting under their paws. Dogs thrive on clear, steady rules, not because they love control, but because it makes them feel safe. It's their map of the world drawn by you. Every time the rules change, a piece of that map disappears. So when you think you're being kind by letting them bend a rule, remember to them, consistency is kindness. Predictability is peace. Every no you stick to gently is another brick in the house of trust you're building together. And here's something most people miss. The calmer your boundaries, the deeper their love. Dogs don't need endless freedom. They need to know the walls of safety are solid. Because when they trust those walls, they finally relax and bloom into the loyal friend you always hoped they'd be. Coming up next, we'll look at something even smaller, the quiet chaos of a life without routine, and how it can turn a happy dog into an anxious one overnight. Number 2. The missing rhythm when life loses its routine. Have you ever noticed your dog pacing near the door, glancing at you, then back again as if waiting for a signal? Only you can give dogs don't wear watches, but their hearts tick by the rhythm of your life. When that rhythm changes without warning, their world trembles a little. Imagine waking up one morning, not knowing when you'll eat, when you'll go outside, or when the people you love will return. That's what it feels like for a dog without a steady routine. They don't crave control. They crave certainty. Every meal, every walk, every bedtime story you share is a drumbeat that tells them, you're safe, I've got you. But when breakfast comes late or walks are skipped, that rhythm falters. The silence between those beats becomes anxiety. Studies even show a dog's stress hormone cortisol can mirror its owner's. When our days are scattered, so are theirs. So if you see your dog whining for no reason, chewing at the air, or staring at the door, as if waiting for something that never comes, it might not be misbehavior. It might be confusion. Build a simple ritual, not a rigid schedule. Feed them at the same time, walk the same path, end the night with the same calm words. Because to your dog, routine isn't boring. It's the soft heartbeat of home. And when that heartbeat is steady, their trust deepens. Up next, we'll explore how even our words, simple, everyday commands, can either anchor that trust or unravel it completely. Picture this. You're standing in your living room holding a treat. You smile, point, and say, "Stay." Your dog freezes, eyes locked on you, tail still. Perfect. You reward them, proud of how smart they are. The next day you try again, but this time without thinking, you say, "Wait." And your dog bolts forward, confused, tail wagging, thinking they did well. You sigh, wondering why they forgot. But they didn't forget. They're not being stubborn. They're trying to understand a language that keeps changing its rules. Imagine being dropped into a country where every street sign changes daily. You'd feel lost, anxious, maybe even hesitant to move at all. That's your dog trying to navigate the maze of your mixed commands. For them, stay, wait, hold on, and don't move aren't the same. They're four different puzzles. Every word carries weight, rhythm, tone, and meaning. And when those shift, their sense of certainty shatters. Dogs don't need big vocabularies. They need clarity. One word, one meaning, delivered with the same tone and the same calm energy every time. When your words become consistent, they stop sounding like noise and start sounding like music, a melody they can trust, follow, and find safety in. The more predictable your cues, the more confident they become. And something magical happens then. Your dog stops guessing and starts listening. They learn to move with you, not in fear of being wrong, but in joy of being right. Because for them, your voice isn't just instruction, it's home. Every word you repeat with love becomes a bridge between two species who speak different tongues but share one heart. And next, we'll see how timing just a few seconds too late can turn that bridge of trust into a wall of confusion. Number 4. The lost moment when timing breaks communication. You walk into the kitchen, and there it is, the trash can tipped over, leftovers everywhere, and your dog sitting in the corner with that wide-eyed, guilty look. You take a deep breath. Your voice sharpens. "What did you do?" They shrink, ears back, tail tucked. You think they understand that the guilt in their eyes means they know what they've done. But here's the truth, they don't. That look isn't guilt, it's fear. They're reading your anger, not their mistake. To a dog, time is a thin thread, and once a few seconds pass, that thread snaps. The connection between action and consequence disappears. What you are really teaching them isn't, "Don't knock over the trash." It's, "Sometimes the person I love becomes scary, and I don't know why." Imagine how small that must feel. The one being they trust most suddenly turns cold over something they can't even remember. Timing is everything. If you don't catch them in the act, let it go. Discipline, after the fact, is like scolding a child for a dream they don't recall. The true lesson happens in the moment, a calm, clear no, then redirection toward what's right. Guide them, don't shame them. If you missed the moment, the best thing you can do is prevent the next one, close the trash, hide the shoe, lower the temptation. Dogs don't learn through fear. They learn through clarity, fairness, and patience. And the sooner they feel that from you, the faster trust replaces confusion. Because your dog isn't testing your limits, they're testing your love. Coming up next, we'll talk about something more human. Then we realize the way we hug, and why a gesture meant as love can sometimes feel like a trap to the one who trusts us most. Number 5. The trapped embrace when love feels like restraint. Who doesn't love a hug? For us, it's comfort arms wrapped tight, heart to heart, the purest sign of affection. So it's only natural we want to share that with our dogs. You kneel down, throw your arms around them, press your face into their fur. But have you ever felt your dog's body stiffen? Their ears flick back, their eyes dart sideways. That's not a dog soaking up affection. That's a dog asking, "Why can't I move?" In their world, wrapping your limbs around someone isn't tenderness. It's dominance. The closest thing to a hug in dog language happens when one pins another, not a greeting, but a warning. So when we hold them tight, they don't feel safe. They feel trapped. Imagine being lifted off the ground by a giant who means well but doesn't speak your language. Love in the wrong form can feel like fear. But this isn't about avoiding affection, it's about translating it. Instead of holding them still, invite them in. Sit beside them. Let them lean on you, choose closeness on their terms. Watch the subtle signs, a relaxed sigh, a soft blink, the weight of their head resting on your knee. That's their version of a hug, silent, trustin', real. Some dogs learn to enjoy our embraces, but only when they know they can say no, and we'll listen. True love for a dog isn't about how tightly we hold them. It's about how gently we listen. Every time you respect their space, you whisper to them, "You're safe here. You always have a choice." And that freedom is the deepest comfort of all. Coming up next, we'll look at something we often do without thinking, waking our sleeping dog, and how a single touch in the wrong moment can spark fear that lingers far longer than you'd imagine. Number 6. The startled wake, when a gentle touch becomes a jolt of fear. There's nothing softer than the sight of your dog asleep, curled up like a question mark, chest rising and falling, paw twitching in dreams only they can see. You reach down, unable to resist, and brush your hand over their fur. But suddenly, they jerk eyes-wide muscles tight, a flash of confusion, before they realize it's you. For a heartbeat, that loving touch feels like danger. And you wonder, why would my dog flinch at my hand? The truth is, dogs dream just like we do. They drift through deep cycles, where their mind blurs the line between real and imagined. Waking them suddenly is like being pulled from a nightmare. With no warning, they come up swinging, not out of anger, but out of instinct. Especially for dogs who've lived through fear before. Rescues, strays, shelter dogs, that instant between sleep and awareness can feel like the edge of survival. If you've ever startled awake, heart pounding, not knowing where you are, you know the feeling. Now imagine not having words to ask, "Am I safe?" That's what happens when we wake our dogs too fast. So next time you want to rouse them, start with your voice low and familiar. Let their name float through the air before your touch does. Give them a moment to find you in the fog. If you must touch them, do it where they can see your hand coming, a slow approach, never a surprise. When we wake them gently, we tell them, "You're home. You're safe." And that message sinks deeper than any command ever could. Because trust isn't built in training sessions, it's built in quiet moments like this. Up next, we'll explore something even more invisible. The pressure we place on our dogs to be social butterflies, and how forcing friendliness can quietly wound a soul that just wants to feel safe. Number 7. The forced friendship when we push them into a world they don't choose. It's a scene every dog owner knows. Friends come over, laughter fills the room, and someone says, "Where's your dog? Bring him out." You smile, call their name, and out they come. Tail low, body tense, eyes scan in the room like a soldier entering foreign ground. You tell them, "Go say hi," and gently push them forward, believing you're helping them be friendly. But in their heart, It doesn't feel like kindness. It feels like being thrown into a crowd without warning. Dogs are like people. Not every one of them is born a social butterfly. Some love the spotlight, others find safety in quiet corners. Forcing them to greet strangers when they're not ready doesn't teach confidence, it teaches fear. Imagine being scared of heights and someone pulling you toward the edge, saying, "It's fine, you'll get used to it." Your body freezes, not because you don't trust them, but because your instincts scream, "I'm not ready." That's what your dog feels when they're pushed into human chaos. Their signals are small, a yawn that isn't from tiredness, a lick of the lips, a paw lifted just slightly off the ground, the body leaning away. These are whispers of discomfort, and when we ignore them, we tell them, "Your voice doesn't matter." But there's another way. Let them choose. Let guests toss treats from a distance. Let your dog decide when to approach, when to sniff, when to retreat. The power to choose transforms fear into trust. And one day, maybe that same shy dog will wander out on their own tail, relaxed, ready to say hello, not because you told them to, but because they wanted to. When we respect their boundaries, they learn that our world isn't dangerous. It's patient. And that patience plants the seed of courage that no training class ever could. Coming up next, we'll look at a moment that breaks hearts quietly, the times when your dog reaches out for love, and without meaning to, you push them away. Number 8. The rejected affection when love knocks, and we don't open the door. It's early morning. You're half-dressed, juggling your coffee, your phone, your thoughts. Your dog trots up, eyes bright, tail wagging like a flag of pure joy. Maybe they nuzzle your leg. Maybe they jump a little desperate for that tiny moment of connection before you leave. But you're late, distracted, and without thinking, you push them away. "Not now, buddy." You don't see the small pause in their eyes, the tail slowing the way their body lowers just slightly, as if asking, "Did I do something wrong?" It seems harmless. You'll play later, right? But dogs don't live in later. They live in now. And in that, now rejection feels like the door of love closing in their face. Imagine if every time you reached out for a hug, the person you trusted most turned away. Not angrily, not cruelly, just absent. Over time, you would reach out less. You'd learn to hold your love back. Dogs do the same. When their affection is dismissed, too often they stop offering it. The kisses fade, the leaning slows, the spark in their greeting dims. They still love you, but that love becomes quiet, cautious. The truth is, affection is the language dogs speak best. It's how they say, "I belong to you." And it doesn't take grand gestures to answer back. A few seconds of soft touch, a calm "good boy," even a glance that says, "I see you" to them. That's everything. Because love to a dog isn't about long walks or expensive toys. It's about the little moments that say, "You matter to me even when I'm busy." So next time you feel their fur brush your leg as you rush for the door, pause. Kneel just for a heartbeat and let them know their love isn't an interruption. It's the best part of your day. And coming up next, we'll explore the opposite side of this, not rejection, but missed recognition, how forgetting to reward good behavior at the right time can quietly make your dog stop trying to please you at all. Number 9. The silent success when good behavior goes unnoticed. Picture this. Your dog sits perfectly still while you grab your keys, eyes on you, tail thumping softly against the floor. They're waiting patient, polite, doing exactly what you've taught them. But you're in a rush. your mind already halfway out the door. You grab your bag, mumble a distracted good boy, and leave. No treat, no praise, no real acknowledgement. And in that moment, a tiny spark of motivation flickers out. You didn't mean to ignore them, but to your dog, silence speaks louder than words. Imagine working hard on something, waiting for a smile or a nod that never comes. Eventually, you'd wonder, why bother trying? Dogs feel that too. They live for your approval. Every wag, every waiting glance, every obedient pause is a question, did I do well? When the answer doesn't come, they stop asking. Positive reinforcement isn't just about treats. It's about timing that golden 2 seconds when behavior and reward meet. When your dog hears your joy exactly as they do the right thing, that sound etches into their brain like music. This is what makes my human happy. You're not bribing them, you're teaching them the melody of love. But when you miss that cue, when praise comes too late, or not at all, the song fades, and confusion takes its place. Here's the thing. Dogs don't dream of trophies or approval. They dream of connection, a gentle pat, a soft, yes, a warm look that's their paycheck. When you celebrate the good, even the small things, you build a language stronger than any command, the language of encouragement. So next time your dog waits quietly, instead of barking, or drops the toy when asked, pause. Look them in the eye. Let that moment shine. Because for them, being seen, truly seen, is the reward that makes everything else worth it. And coming up next, we'll talk about something that seems harmless, but quietly erodes that same trust the moment you take away what's theirs before they're ready, and how that single act can turn affection into anxiety. Number 10. The stolen treasure, when we take away what makes them feel safe. There's your dog stretched out on the floor, happily chewing their favorite toy, that squeaky, tattered thing you've considered throwing away 100 times. The sound is constant, maybe even a little annoying. You sigh, reach down, and take it from them. That's enough, you say, setting it on the counter. They stare up, eyes puzzled, their jaw still halfway open, as if the world just skipped a beat. It seems harmless. After all, it's just a toy, right? But to them, that toy isn't just a thing. It's comfort. It's theirs. In a world where they own nothing, not the house, not the leash, not the space they live in, that little object is the one piece of certainty they can hold on to. And when we snatch it away too soon, we send a quiet message. What you love can disappear without warning. Imagine sitting on your porch with your favorite book, and someone walks by, plucks it from your hands, and walks away. Not out of anger, just because they can. You'd feel confused, maybe even a little betrayed. That's the same storm that brews in a dog's chest when we take their toy mid-chew. Over time, that harmless act can create what trainers call resource guarding. It's not greed, it's fear, the fear of loss. But there's a gentler way. Instead of taking trade, offer a treat or a new toy, or even your attention. Teach them that when you approach, good things happen. They'll start to trust that giving up something doesn't mean losing, it means sharing. And trust built this way grows roots deeper than obedience. So next time you see your dog clutching that old squeaky ball like it's gold, let them finish their joy. Because that small piece of rubber isn't just a toy, it's proof they're allowed to feel safe in your world. Coming up next, we'll explore a space that should always feel safe, but often doesn't. The crate, and how turning it into punishment can quietly destroy the peace your dog is trying to find. Number 11. The broken sanctuary, when the crate becomes a cell instead of a haven. Picture your dog curled up inside their crate, that small corner of the world that smells like them, lined with a blanket they've molded into a perfect nest. To them, it's not just a box. It's a den, a cave, a quiet heartbeat in the middle of the house. But then, one day, something changes. They bark too much, get underfoot, or have an accident, and you frustrated point toward that space and say, "Go to your crate." The door clicks shut, and the air shifts. Suddenly, the one place that meant safety now feels like exile. They don't know why it happened. They only know that the walls that once whispered peace now echo punishment. Imagine if every time you made a small mistake, someone sent you to your bedroom and locked the door. After a while, your room wouldn't feel like home anymore. It would feel like a reminder of your failures. That's how quickly a crate can lose its magic. When used as a refuge, it's therapy. When used as punishment, it's trauma. The tragedy is, dogs don't understand time out. They only understand feelings calm or chaos, safety or fear. But it's easy to rebuild that trust. Make the crate a place where only good things happen. Meals, naps, soft words, gentle praise. Never anger. Leave the door open when you can. Let them choose to walk in on their own. Over time, that choice becomes confidence. That confidence becomes comfort. And comfort becomes healing. Because a crate isn't a cage, it's a promise, your promise, that they have a space in this world where nothing bad ever happens. And when they believe that they'll go there, not because you told them to, but because they feel safe enough to rest. Next, we'll look at something far more subtle, but just as damaging the jokes we make at our dog's expense. The teasing we think is harmless, but to them, it feels like betrayal wrapped in laughter. Number 12. The cruel joke when teasing turns trust into hesitation. It starts so innocently. You toss the ball, your dog runs full speed, joy spilling from every step, but this time you pretend to throw it. The ball stays in your hand. They sprint, stop, turn, and look back, tail wagging slower, now eyes flickering with confusion. You laugh. Maybe you blow gently in their face, or sneak up for a startle because their reaction is so cute, so funny. But have you ever noticed how that tail eventually drops a little lower each time? That sparkle of pure joy you love begins to fade. To us, it's play. To them, it's betrayal in disguise. Dogs don't understand jokes. They don't see pranks as harmless fun. They see them as mixed messages, moments when the person they trust most turns unpredictable. Imagine someone you adore smiling at you one minute and tricking you the next. You'd laugh once, maybe twice, but deep down, a seed of doubt would sprout. Can I really trust this next moment? That's exactly what happens in a dog's heart. The fake throw, the teasing, the silly costumes they clearly hate each time chips away at the certainty that your actions mean what they seem. Their world runs on sincerity. Every signal, every tone, every promise matters. When we mock that, even gently, we blur the lines of trust they depend on to feel safe. The truth is, dogs don't need us to make them laugh. They need us to make them believe. Believe that every gesture, every game, every touch comes from love, not confusion. Real play is simple. Honest shared. Throw the ball for real. Engage in tug-of-war they can win. Let them feel the thrill of success, not the sting of trickery. Because for a dog, joy is never about the game. It's about who they're playing with. And in the next chapter of this story, we'll go deeper beyond play, beyond punishment, to the heart of it all. How understanding your dog's instincts, not fighting them, can turn conflict into connection, and obedience into unbreakable trust. So here we are at the end of this journey through the small mistakes that speak louder than we realize. You've probably seen yourself in some of these moments we all have. The times we scolded too late, hugged too tightly, rushed past their affection, or laughed at confusion we thought was cute. And yet through all of it, our dogs never stopped loving us. That's the part that humbles me every time. Their forgiveness is infinite, but that doesn't mean their hearts don't feel the cracks. They remember the tone of your voice, the warmth of your touch, the rhythm of your routine. To them, those things are love, not the toys, not the treats, but you. If there's one message I hope you carry after this, it's that love isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Every small moment you choose patience over frustration, every time you listen instead of command, you're writing another line in the story your dog will carry for the rest of their life. The story of how it felt to be loved by you. And maybe tonight, when the house is quiet, you'll look down at that furry soul resting by your feet and realize they've been teaching you all along about trust, forgiveness, and the kind of loyalty the human heart can only dream of matching. If you felt something today, a tug of empathy, a spark of recognition, or simply the desire to be better for your best friend, then stay with us. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and join a community of dog lovers who want to understand, not just own. Because the more we learn their language, the more we discover what they've been saying all along. I love you completely, just as you are.